Hello, how to solve this exponential problem? This is k power 2 minus k power 3 equals 2. Solving for all values of k that satisfy this equation. So I can have k power 2 minus, this is k power 3 equals these two here. I can write it as summation of 1 plus 1. So from here, I have k power 2 minus k power 3. This is minus, I will move this over here, 1 plus 1, and this equals 0. Now from here, I can have k power 2 minus k power 3. I will use this minus to multiply this. I have minus 1, I have minus 1 equals 0. Now I can decide to raise this to the power of 2 so that it corresponds with this, and also raise this to the power of 3 so that it will correspond with this, right? And don't forget the fact that if you raise this, 1 to the power of 2 is the same thing as well, right? And if you multiplied it here, you have the same thing. And 1 to the power of 3 is the same thing as 1. So if you multiply it here, you have the same thing. It doesn't change anything. But we just want it to correspond with this and with this, right? So from here, let's combine them. I can have k power 2 minus 1 power 2. Then I have minus k power 3 minus 1 power 3 equals 0. So from here, I have k power 2 minus 1 power 2. I can factor this out, minus, this is k power 3. This becomes plus 1 power 3, because if you factor out minus here, minus divide this minus, you have plus. So this equals 0. Now we have k power 2 minus 1 power 2 here. For us to expand this, I will apply difference of two squares. If you have a squared minus b squared, this equals a minus b times a plus b. So our a is k and b is 1. Then for this, if you want to expand it, you have a power 3 plus b power 3, which equals a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b power 2. So to expand this, I'm going to have k minus 1 times k plus 1. Then I have minus. For this, I'll have k plus 1 times k squared minus k times 1 plus 1 power 2, and this equals 0. So right now, I'll have k minus 1 times k plus 1 minus this is k plus 1 times k squared minus k plus 1 power 2, that is 1, and this equals 0. So this is k plus 1, this is k plus 1. I can factor k plus 1 out. This divides k plus 1, I have k minus 1. This divides k plus 1, I have this minus here, minus k squared minus k plus 1, and this equals 0. So from here, I'll have k plus 1 times, this is k minus 1. This minus multiply everything here. This is minus k squared. This is plus k. This is minus times 1. This is minus 1. And this equals 0. So right now, if you do would be to simplify this. I have k plus 1 times, this is k. Now, k plus k, this is 2k here. Minus 1, this is plus 2. That is minus 2. That's not plus, that is minus 2. I have minus 2. Then this is minus k squared. And this equals 0. So right here, I can have k plus 1 times, let's rearrange this, minus k squared plus 2k minus 2 equals 0. So what I can do will be to equate each of these to 0. I have k plus 1 equals 0. have minus k squared plus 2k minus 2 equals 0. So to solve this linear equation, I simply have k equals -1. That's my k1. Now here is a quadratic equation, but before we can solve, we need to make it a perfect quadratic equation by changing this coefficient to positive. So I need to divide this by -1. I have negative k squared divided by -1. I have k squared. This divides -1. I have minus 2k. This divides -1. I have plus 2. And this equals 0. So to solve this, we make use of formula method. I write the formula in respect to k. I have k equals -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times ac divided by 2 times a. So right now, my k or a is the correlation of k squared, that is a. This is -2 is b, c is 2. So I'm going to have k equals negative times -2 plus or minus square root of b squared, that is -2 power 2 minus 4 times 1 times 2. And this is divided by 2 times 1. So from here, I'll have k equals, this is 2 plus or minus square root of, this will give us 4 minus this is 8. And this is divided by 2. So from here, I would have k equals 2. This is plus or minus square root of, this is -4 divided by 2. So from here, I'll simply have k equals 2 plus or minus this minus here, half square root of -1 times square root of 4. Then this is divided by 2. So from here, I will have k equals 2 plus or minus, this is I, half pi times square root of 4, that is 2, divided by 2. So from here, this 2 eliminates 2 eliminates 2. I have k equals, this is 1 plus or minus I. So we have two complex values for k. I have k equals 1 plus I. This is my k2. And also k3 equals 1 minus I. So these are the two complex values for k. And we also have one real value for k, which is -1. So we can decide to check if that particular value of k will satisfy this equation. So I have check. This is k power 2 minus k power 3 equals 2, and k equals -1 from the one we have solved. So this is -1 to the power of 2 minus this is -1 to the power of 3. This equals 2. Now, once you have negative to the power of an even number, you have positive. So this is just like having 1 power 2 minus. And once you have negative to the power of an odd number, you have negative. And this is just like having 1 to the power of 3 is 1. So this is just like having -1 here. And this equals 3. Remember, 1 power 2 is 1. So this is just like having 1 minus -1 equals, this is 2, not 3. This is 2. So this is having 1 minus times minus is plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, and this equals 2. So this has satisfied the equation. So guys, this is how you solve this exponential problem step by step. And I believe you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you and goodbye.